content creator providing content creation tips and tricks for new and beginning content creators, UGC creators, and I also provide a little bit of productivity tips in the mix as well. Today I'm going to be talking about something that is super important, super essential, and it's something that is definitely not talked about a lot in the content space, and that is setting boundaries as a content creator. I feel like it's something that is definitely important for your well-being and something that is also important for your success in content creation, to something to avoid burnout and, feel like you're forcing yourself to do something. Creating boundaries as a content creator is definitely essential in the content creation space, and I just don't feel like it's talked about a lot. So I'm going to just dive into some topics, some tips, some little tidbits that can help you along the way, and something, it can help you create some type of boundaries and also, help you avoid burnout as a content creator. We need to talk about first why it's important to even consider having boundaries as a content creator, because like I said, it's something that is not talked about a lot and needs to be, because I feel like it is definitely easy to be like, to think that you have to be like on all the time. You have to be constantly filming something, constantly editing something, constantly posting something, constantly responding to comments, like all that, like you're on like 24/7. You don't really have a day to like really have some type of break and, not do anything content creation whatsoever. But that, doing all of that without some type of boundary or like cutoff time or something is definitely going to lead to stress, and you're definitely going to end up getting burnt out. So all in all, having boundaries as a content creator is going to help protect your personal time. You're going to be able to maintain your mental health, and it's also going to ensure that you're actually creating content that you actually care about and are passionate about, rather than just pumping out content because you feel like you just need to, which that is never good in any way. So definitely setting boundaries will help, with all of that. Alright, so now that we got that out of the way, the next question is probably, okay, so how do I set up boundaries as a creator, especially a new creator, when you feel like you need to be on all the time? I will give you some questions that you should ask yourself to kind of figure out what your boundaries could be. How much time do you want to dedicate to content creation each day or each week, however you go about your content journey? Like when you're planning, like how much time do you want to spend per day, per week, on content creation stuff in general, whether that be filming, editing, scheduling, posting, responding to comments, all that good stuff. How much time do you want to dedicate to those tasks each day and or the week? Another thing could be like, what are my off hours when I'm not responding to like comments or messages and stuff? Because even if you delegate a day that you're not going to do anything, you might still get messages, replies, comments, questions, all that stuff, and you might feel obligated to, comment right then and there. So what day do you not want to do anything, not even respond to comments? You can maybe add in your schedule to respond to comments this many times a week or whatever, so where you don't really have to, stress yourself out, force yourself to comment or answer someone's question on one of your off days. Another question can also come in with, brand collaborations. What type of collaborations or brands do I want to work with that actually align with me? Because that also creates extra stress, extra burnout when you're trying to force yourself to work with a brand that you really don't enjoy or you really don't use. You're just working with them essentially because one, they're either paying you, or two, you just want more exposure and you're trying to get more sponsored like content out on your page, which is I would never recommend doing that, because you're not going to feel fulfilled. You're not going to have a passion about the content that you're creating for that brand. So I definitely wouldn't try to reach out to or work with a brand if they don't align with you and your brand, as well as the content that you already create. And that brings me to the last question I have here is, how do I want to handle work for like free or like exposure type work? And that was pretty much what I was saying before. If you're trying to have like a lot of sponsored type content out, free work or whatever is pretty much like gifted collaborations, where a brand will say, hey, we can send you this product or let you try this service, but in turn you got to give us a video. Like, do you want to do that? Also try to make sure that you do, if it is a gifted collaboration that is from a brand that you actually want to work with or don't mind working with, or can actually tie in with your content brand and general content stuff that you do anyway. Because if it checks all your boxes and it's a gifted collaboration and you don't mind doing it, definitely do it. But don't try to take on too many, because you'll get overworked overwhelmed, burnt out, stressed, all that. We don't need that. And after you ask yourself those questions, there may be more that pop up once you do ask yourself these questions. Make sure, once you have a clear set of what it is you want and what it is you don't want when it comes to that, you can definitely start implementing them and making them work for you. So maintaining boundaries with your audience is something that can definitely be tricky because especially when you're starting out as a new content creator, because you're wanting to make sure you're responding to your comments. I know I've said before, you can't expect engagement without engaging, but at the end of the day, you do have to remember that you don't owe anyone constant access to your time and your energy, okay? Just because someone replied to or left a comment on a video you left 5+ months ago, I'm not saying don't reply to that, but if it's on a day you're resting, you're vibing, you're not wanting to deal with any content creation stuff, don't reply to them on that day. Like I mentioned earlier in the video, figure out days you want to, respond to comments and messages and all that good stuff. Maybe you can, if you put out video every week or your content out, like put it out. If there are a lot of comments within the first hour or two, make sure you reply to them, and then after that you're done until the next scheduled time that you come to reply to messages, questions, comments, all that. Definitely do not allow full access to your time and energy just because you're a content creator. You have to have your person too, okay? You have to have your separated time where you're just focusing on your health, your well-being, your mental health, all that good stuff. So definitely, if you don't take away anything from this video, remember that you don't owe anyone full access to your time and your energy. And I also feel like one of the biggest challengers for content creators is blending personal, private life stuff with social media. Social media is supposed to be something separate. I would not recommend, personally putting a whole lot of personal information into your social media stuff. Do it enough so people can kind of, get to know you a little bit and see what you're about. But I definitely wouldn't go into, doing live stories and stuff unless it ties into your niche and you honestly don't mind it. But that's also giving a lot of people access to you and information that if you want it to be private is no longer private because you decided to share, if that makes sense. So I would definitely recommend keeping some aspects of your life private, despite if you are a lifestyle vlogger or you're wanting to be a lifestyle influencer and you want to share all of these aspects of your life with the people who are following you. I mean, do that to a certain extent. Don't just lay it all out for everybody to, pick apart and try to, put things together in their head. Don't do that. But I know it's kind of hard to do if you're trying to do a lifestyle stuff, but you still don't owe anybody any of that information, you know what I'm saying? So just keep in mind with that as well, that you don't have to be overly sharing your life and stuff, but you can share aspects that could be general for or relatable to other people as well. But yeah, I wouldn't try to make it too personal. Also, I would also set some type of social media limit. For me, I am only on social media during the week. If I do just randomly scroll or anything on the weekends, but my phone could be in a completely different room on Saturdays, and I will be completely fine because I have other stuff that I can do, and I'm not trying to spend a lot of time on social media because I did that all during the week. I post my Instagrams, my TikToks, YouTube shorts, YouTube videos, stories, all that stuff. I'm not trying to see my phone on my day off, which is on a Saturday, so I'm not trying. My phone can be in a completely different room for all I care because I'm doing other things. So I would try to, if you can detach from your phone a little bit or social media in general, try to do that because that's definitely going to give you some type of breathing room to refresh, recharge those batteries, and get ready for the week ahead. It's also important to balance your boundaries with your goals of growth as a content creator, especially a new content creator. I would definitely prioritize quality over quantity. Just because you're a content creator does not mean you can just put out videos just trying to see what sticks, because likely if you don't have a plan in place, you don't have, a brand identity or a niche or whatever in place that you're trying to make something with, putting out random content all the time, it's not going to do it for you and you're going to easily get burned down. So like I said, try to do something when you are sitting down to plan your content, when you're sitting down to film your content. Make sure you're putting out something quality over just trying to have a whole lot of stuff go out that doesn't make sense or doesn't, have a place or meaning in your brand identity, your niche, etc. If you can, I would suggest batching your content where you're not having to sit down and film a lot of content all at once. That is something that you can do as well. All right, and I think that's all I have today when it comes to setting boundaries as a content creator, specifically a newer content creator, because I know I was there and I find myself falling back into that trap a little bit. You're new, you're just starting out, you're trying to get seen, you're trying to get, your stuff together, you're finding your niche, you're trying to get your content ideas all in order and all that stuff. Like, I know, okay? You're trying to do what the other people do, and you're trying to do it good so you can get all these followers and eventually get all your accounts monetized. Like, trust me, I know. But to avoid stress, to avoid burnout, to protect your personal time, your energy, your mental health, you need to set boundaries as a content creator. That is all I have for today's video. If you got all the way to the end and found any of these tips helpful, definitely do leave me a thumbs up and comment down below how you're going to set boundaries as a creator, especially if you're new, because I wanted to know what newer creators are, thinking about boundaries and protecting their time, their space, their energy, all that good stuff. So definitely leave me a comment down below on how you're going to be setting boundaries as a content creator. Also, don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more content creation tips and tricks just like this one. And also, don't forget to hit your push notification bell so you won't miss when I post, which is currently Fridays, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That all being said, thanks again for watching today's video, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace.